Hi, I'm Kristen Oaks White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
Well, more Louisiana students will be able to get hands-on with agriculture, all thanks to several $5,000 grants distributed by the Louisiana Farm to School program.
The schools receiving the grants sent teachers and administrators to Acadiana High School in Lafayette Parish to see exactly what they can do at their schools and why connecting agriculture with nutrition is better for the students.
There's more growing in this greenhouse than plants at Acadiana High School. Agri-science teacher Brandon Broussard is also growing productive members of society. He's seen it firsthand when giving students jobs that must be done every day, just like on a farm.
That student now has the mindset of maybe he won't be a farmer, but maybe he has the mindset still of I can actually do something and be productive.
Now Broussard is sharing that knowledge with other teachers and administrators from across Louisiana who received $5,000 mini grants from the Louisiana Farm to School program and the Walmart Foundation. Acadiana High is one of 2 demonstration schools in the Farm to School program.
I'm extremely encouraged by what I see at Acadiana High School and by the enthusiasm of the mini grantees.
Cynthia Joseph is the principal at Letcher Elementary School in St. James Parish. She has plans to use this grant to get her students connected with agriculture.
I'm excited about learning the local farmers so that I can get them more involved in the school setting to also help with assisting the kids in learning more about farming.
At Acadiana High, the connection is closer because the food grown at the school is served in the cafeteria, something Lafayette Parish School System dietitian Celeste Hayes says has a better impact on healthy eating than an after-hours school garden.
This program in particular with curriculum-based gardening and nutrition education has been shown through research consistently to improve students' preference and consumption of fruits and vegetables.
Celeste Hay with the Lafayette Parish School System says not every school district has a registered dietitian on staff to oversee child nutrition. She hopes that programs like Farm to School inspire those districts to see the value in having someone with that knowledge on staff. To learn more about the Farm to School program, you can visit our website at twilatv.org. And Kristen, I know that your mother personally oversees a school that has a pretty impressive garden.
They do. It's part of the FFA program. They did not have that when I was at school there, but it provides such a great learning opportunity for those kids to get, like you said, hands-on involved in the dirt and things that they might not ever get to experience, but they find out that they're interested in it.
And so that's the West Ouachita Parish.
West Ouachita High School.
Yeah, that's a neat school. And
Chiefs.
I remember you did that story, the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Well, a central location and good soil helps keep a diversified farm thriving. That's according to Rapides Parish farmer Jim Harper.
Twilight's Rebecca Buchanan catches up with Jim for this week's Louisiana Farm Life to find out how he keeps his family farm of sugar, rice, soybeans, and crawfish growing through the generations.
Well, it's something I'm extremely proud of, and I think that's what most farmers live for.
Jim Harper is living to leave a lasting legacy, securing the future of farming through new technology, policy, and training the next generation.
No farmer wants to do anything to their land that is going to degrade it or make it erode or make it less valuable, because they want the next generation, their children, the next farmers, to be able to come in and farm that land and for it to be in good condition.
So Jim and his brother Ross use computers to keep their everyday bookkeeping running efficiently, but also to measure field inputs, outputs, and conditions throughout the farming process.
You can measure the yield as you're cutting the crop. And this tells you where you need lime and where you don't need lime. In years before, we would say, all right, they would just do 2 or 3 samples and come back and say, you need, say, 1.5 tons of lime. Well, you would put 1.5 tons of lime on the whole field. Even though this area didn't need any, it would still get it, so it's a savings.
It's easier on the budget and the land, since less inputs are used in the soil. They program their equipment to use this information as it moves throughout the field.
Technology has been one of the biggest improvements and one of the biggest helps we've had on the farm.
So they're always keeping an eye on what's coming up next.
precision farming is what you have to do nowadays to run efficiently.
Britton Scheck Snyder, Jim's son-in-law, grew up on a farm where his love of agriculture grew. Although he left the farm life for a few years, he says there's nowhere else he'd rather be.
Something that you can, see the fruits of your labor at the end of the year, something I've always wanted to do.
Britton says having Jim and Ross as mentors makes it fun and easy to be passionate about what they do.
Oh, I love it. That's one of the main reasons that I wanted to be here in the first place.
That camaraderie inspires Ross's son Michael and Britton to grow as a business as they grow food for the masses.
I see myself in my son a lot. It makes you proud. It really does. They're enthused about farming, and they're doing a good job. And I know one day they'll be able to take this farm over and make it work.
Jim and Ross hope they're passing on principles for staying on top of the food chain while growing safe, quality foods.
You've got to stand up for your industry, and you've got to be involved in the issues you're facing. So you've got to be there too to give a balanced picture of agriculture.
Jim encourages the next generation to stay active and connected with their legislature and fellow farmers, keep up with the latest technology, and remember what it means to be a farmer.
It's the love of the land. I love farming. I love agriculture. And I just want to see agriculture improve and be better for the next generation.
The technology they use in the field is incredible. So they typically map out everything from start to finish on their wheat, rice, soybeans, but they're anxiously awaiting that technology when it comes to sugarcane. They say 5 years, we'll see. But it was so funny. They're all so excited to talk about this technology that at one point they were all talking at the same time. But the thing they're the most excited about, drones. What do you think? Future or no, not gonna happen?
I think it is the future because my dad has gone through 3 of them already. However, Dad doesn't do row crops, so I really don't know why he purchased one, but he likes to play with it, so.
Hey, it can be a lot of fun, but then also it's supposed to be able to give a lot of information. They say the pictures and the data that they can collect from those will take precision farming to another level.
Especially for sugarcane, because it's really tough to get into the middle of that field to see what you have growing there. The drones really make it possible for you to do that. However, I do have to ask, Kristen, Butch Oaks, 3 drones. How do you, what happened?
I'm gonna be in so much trouble for leaking this. One of them, the phone home tool on it, when he did, it was right underneath a pecan tree and it blew up. And then
Oh my gosh. I hope there's another video camera going at the same time.
No, not at this time. But then the other one, the phone home series, just took it as far away from home as you could possibly go. And it's somewhere in the stratosphere, we have no idea.
And he doesn't buy the cheap ones either, does he?
No, he bought some pretty nice ones.
Somebody got a little prize. Okay, so
really
future
sorry.
technology again. So
well,
hopefully it's coming.
We look forward to seeing the stories you do, hopefully not on crashing drones. Thanks, yes. Rebecca Buchanan. Well, this year we launched a new segment called Trending on Twyla to show you at home what people are talking about online when it comes to agriculture.
So what topped our trending list for Ag News in 2015? Well, that's a tough one to narrow down, as farmers were actually a popular topic this year on social media.
During harvest and sugarcane planting season, many of you took to Twitter and Facebook to show us photos from your farm, from tractors stuck in the mud to little ones on the combine. We really enjoyed sharing the stories of your harvest with the rest of the world.
Feel-good stories from the farm were also a hot topic on social media this year. From Rebecca Buchanan's story about Louisiana's first rodeo cowboy, Hall of Famer T.B. Porter, to this story about a farm community in Illinois where local farmers pitched in to help their neighbor, Carl Bates, who was battling terminal cancer, harvest his crop. This story went viral across social media and even gained a national news story on the Today Show.
2015 was also a year to show your appreciation for the hard work of farmers and ranchers. Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and National Farmers Day were just a few of the times that folks took to social media, posting photos, videos, and sharing statuses to show their support and appreciation to the farming community.
We hope this is one trend that continues into the new year. For all of the hard work that farmers do to put food on our tables, the least we can do is show our appreciation as often as possible.
Absolutely. I know I thank them every chance I get because I wouldn't have clothes, wouldn't have a house, would not have food were it not for farmers
They
and
are
ranchers.
completely necessary to our lives. Well, here at Twyla, there was only one story for 2015 that topped our list of news stories for the year: the loss of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture host Michael Dana.
To both Kristen and I and the rest of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Information and Public Relations staff, Mike was a boss, a friend, and a mentor. Losing him to a third bout of cancer in March was a devastating blow to us and Louisiana agriculture as a whole.
7 miles east of Ponchatoula along Highway 22, Zelphia Edwards is growing strawberries.
In 1985, after a 2-year stint as a reporter for the News Star World, Mike Dana began his career at the Louisiana Farm Bureau as editor of the Farm Bureau News. LFB President Ronnie Anderson recalls a memorable first impression of Mike during a profile of the newly elected president and his wife Vivian.
So here we were in the kitchen with empty pots on the stove, and Vivian was standing there stirring and talking like she was cooking something kind of out of the ordinary, and Mike was talking about how we lived in a modest turn-of-the-century farmhouse. And that was 26 years ago, and he has cost me a fortune in trying to upgrade that modest turn-of-the-century farmhouse.
What a legacy.
Yeah, what a legacy.
For the rest of Mike's career at Farm Bureau, he would excel in sharing the story of Louisiana agriculture. Louisiana Commissioner of Ag and Forestry Dr. Mike Strain recalls Mike's leadership from the time Strain got his start on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Board of Directors.
When you look at what Mike has brought, both as a friend, as a colleague, first thing you got to think about when you think about Mike is that larger-than-life presence, that great big smile, and that strong, positive attitude, and such great enthusiasm and excitement about agriculture, forestry, aquaculture, and the people. And so when you look at that, whenever he talked to you, it wasn't, something just about the issue of the day. It's about our community, our brotherhood. When you look at what Farm Bureau is, it's a big family. And we've been here all together all these years, and we've seen so many changes, and he's been a part of that. From all the fun we've had at all the conventions and the field tours and all the issues, and of course, all the things that we've dealt with, and then bringing that to the people. And when he talks about, Twyla and This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, and all the different things, you have to think about Mike.
Mike Dana shared his enthusiasm and excitement for agriculture with everyone he met. Louisiana Farm Bureau Assistant to the President and close friend Jim Monroe defines Mike's 30-year career.
Mike loved to tell stories, and he was really, really good at it. And he loved the farmers and ranchers of Louisiana, and he loved to tell their story.
Telling the story of agriculture took Mike all over the world to 15 countries on 4 continents. Possessing a voracious appetite for information, Mike used his skill to advance an industry he loved. Farm Bureau President Ronnie Anderson describes Mike as the epitome of how the Farm Bureau family works.
One of the last thing that he told me years ago, he said that he wanted to write my farewell and document my achievements as Farm Bureau President when I retired. And he even said that he would write my obituary. And he and I had a conversation about that. And he said at that time, the sad part was he was not going to be able to do mine and maybe not be able to do his.
Even to the very end, Mike worked tirelessly for his Farm Bureau family. Jim Monroe says that leadership will be Mike's enduring legacy.
He was a great leader. He had really high expectations for himself, and he expected that of others. He went the extra mile in everything he did, every package he did, every interview he did, every show that was done. He wanted to do it the very best.
For so many who came to know Mike Dana, his can-do attitude connected the man to the message of food and fiber. In turn, his zest for living the story of agriculture connected us all to him.
His laughter, his contagious, let's get it done attitude, the love he had for his job. We're going to miss him.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and I almost sang that. The cold weather is finally blowing in, and it's the perfect gumbo cooking weather.
And Taylor Fry now joins us to give us some of the history and facts about gumbo. And Taylor, there are so many variations on this dish. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be delicious. Just y'all watch. And of course, out of all the dishes in Louisiana cooking, gumbo is by far the most famous. But trying to sort out the origins of it can be pretty difficult. A little flour and a little oil, it's the beginning of something delicious. A gumbo, and it all starts with the roux. So a well-made roux means a great tasting gumbo. The name gumbo comes from the West African word for okra, suggesting that gumbo was originally made with okra. In 1803, gumbo was served at a gubernatorial reception in New Orleans. And in 1804, gumbo was served at a Cajun gathering on the Acadian coast. You can put just about anything in gumbo, like wild game, pork, chicken, and all kinds of seafood. But the most popular gumbos today are chicken and sausage and seafood gumbo. And because gumbo has been a staple here in Louisiana kitchens for so long, there are many myths surrounding its origins. No one is even certain whether the dish is Cajun or Creole, but regardless, it's warm, delicious, and satisfying. Now moving on to this week's Twyla Trivia. Last time I asked you, in which famous ballet does an army of gingerbread men get sent out against the Mouse King? And the correct answer is C, the Nutcracker. This week's question is, what are 2 foods that are believed to bring good luck if consumed on New Year's Day? Is it A, carrots and broccoli, B, mushrooms and turnips, or C, cabbage and black-eyed peas? To enter this week's Twyla Trivia contest, just log on to your Facebook or Twitter account and post your answer with the hashtag Twyla Trivia, or you can always submit your answer on our website at twylatv.org. And are y'all going to be eating those answers on?
Absolutely. I'm not going to give it away, but my mother has them ready every year for New Year's Day.
Maybe. I don't like all of them. So.
Just expand your palate.
I have, and I don't like it.
Oh, she tried. Well, thank you very much, Taylor Fry.
While this TV show brings Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week, there are several restaurants which bring foodies and farmers together at the table.
In this month's Feasting on Agriculture with AJ Sabine, AJ takes us to Table Kitchen and Bar in Baton Rouge, where farm to table is served up daily.
Feasting on Agriculture with AJ Sabine is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board. Louisiana Crawfish. Ask before you eat. By the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board. Rice, a world of great ideas. And by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Hey there, folks. I'm AJ Sabine, and welcome to another exciting edition of Feasting on Agriculture. Well, you guys know I'm all about farm to table, and today I get to introduce you to Baton Rouge's newest farm to table restaurant, Table Kitchen and Bar. Joining us now is Kevin Dragon, co-executive chef of Table Kitchen and Bar. Kevin, thank you so much for having us here.
It's a pleasure.
This is a beautiful, beautiful restaurant, and I want to thank you again for allowing us to kind of tell your story. And that story is so very important, as it is really rooted, pardon the pun, in the farm to table movement. Kind of tell us a little bit about your concept.
Okay, so Baton Rouge has never really had a true farm to table restaurant, as far as I know. So I've always been really into it, and so we felt that now is the time to really let loose on the city.
All right, Chef, we're in the kitchen. What do we have here so far?
All right, so we're going to start with these kohlrabi fritters that I told you about. Right here we have the greens that I picked off of the kohlrabi. This is a kohlrabi for, if you don't know here, it's an alien vegetable, kind of in the cabbage family.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. It's a bulb. Grows in the wintertime. They're delicious.
The leaves kind of remind me of a mustard green almost.
A little bit, yeah. They're a little waxier, I guess. Like they're nice and soft. You can eat them raw, and of course you can eat a mustard green raw, but a lot of people don't like it.
Right.
A little astringent, but this is more like a cabbage. That's what I like to do is do a nice little shred.
And Kevin, you said this is something that folks could easily make at home.
This is super easy, yeah. All you need is a few ingredients, very simple.
Chef Kevin then adds pickled jalapenos, pickled green garlic, mixed in a buttermilk peppercorn dressing.
So right here we have the kohlrabi that I shredded beforehand.
That's the root part, right?
Yes, this is the root after we skin it. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna mix it with this Louisiana jasmine rice here.
That smells wonderful.
Kind of get a nice little mix in there. Then we're gonna stir him around, get it nice and mixed up.
I'm sure we can hook you up with a bunch of rice farmers who'll be only too happy to supply all
that'd be
of your...
great. Love some new varieties. I like to make a little patty. We have your classic Italian herb breadcrumb, you know. So we're gonna get these guys dropped.
What kind of oil are you?
This is just a neutral canola oil here. And so we're gonna let those guys go.
Love it. You know that's gonna be good. It already smells fantastic. The breadcrumbs are already starting to caramelize.
Time to plate them up.
And then we have these beautiful microgreens also from Grant over at Fullness Organic there. Like beautiful mix there. And so that's that. You know, a little kohlrabi fritter.
After the fritter, Chef Dragon teaches us a Thai-inspired stir-fry featuring chicken produced near Kentwood, Louisiana. He begins with an egg.
Nice little golden brown, that's what you're looking for.
Next, he fires up a curry paste.
So this all happens really fast. There's a lot of raw ingredients in here, so you never want to put a curry paste into something without cooking it.
I don't think Kevin would mind me telling you this, but the secret to this dish is fish sauce.
Fish sauce tastes good. But you don't have to believe me. Kevin will tell you.
Essentially, a special kind of anchovy that grows in the South China Sea out there, and they catch them, they pour salt on them, and then let them sit in a barrel for about 8 months, and then they press them, and then all the juice that comes off they put in a bottle, and that's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it smells
fantastic.
It smells awful, but it smells so good at the same time.
After a quick stir fry with shredded chicken, the dish is ready to plate.
I like to just do a nice loose bed in the middle. Then we have a nice, beautiful.
I like how you have all of the farms that you guys buy your ingredients from located
beautiful
in the restaurant.
Thai-inspired, little stir fry there. It all starts, it all ends with the egg.
And that brings it all together.
And that's it. If anyone dares with a little,
with
a little bird's eye chili and some fresh lime.
I dare.
And that's it. Stir fried chicken.
May I?
Go ahead.
Check this out, folks. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Kevin, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
When we get back, folks, I get to taste this wonderful dish. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Louisiana oysters. Salty, sweet, and delicious. But have you ever thought about what happens to all those oyster shells? Most of them end up in trash cans and landfills. The Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana is changing this with its oyster shell recycling program, and you can help by visiting these participating restaurants. It's a simple and delicious way to restore our coast. The shells will then be used to sustain and rebuild oyster reefs. Remember, once you shuck them, don't just chuck them.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Hey Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming! We're going biking! Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi babe, how was school today?
Hi Dad, it was great. great.
Okay, honey, I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
As you folks know, this is the favorite part of my job when I do Feasting on Agriculture, is actually feasting on the agriculture. You see what Chef Kevin Dragon has prepared for us, this wonderful Thai dish with the jasmine rice. Isn't that beautiful? With the fried egg on top. You can also have it for breakfast. But the pièce de résistance, you guys got to check this out. Co-executive chef Sean Root is joining us now with a beautiful bowl of wings. I guess, Sean, welcome.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you.
Since you brought out a bowl of wings, that means you're my wingman.
That's right. Like what you did there.
Tell us about this beautiful dish.
This one's actually very simple, as some of our other dishes are as well. This one has a little Asian accent. It's Vietnamese style fried wings. They're from Iverstein Family Farms, and they're tossed in a fish sauce and sugar reduction, which gives them a really complex flavor, but also very, very sticky. So they're hard to put down. And we roll them in a little batter beforehand as well, with some rice flour straight from Louisiana, and a little turmeric as well.
So Sean, right in time for NFL playoffs, you guys can have some wings and this wonderful dish that you guys cooked basically for 12 hours. Tell folks about this.
This is Hog Heads cheese. We get our pork from Hollywood Farms over in Port Allen, Louisiana. And we've basically cooked down 2 of the big heads and threw a couple little sirloins in there as well to give it a little extra meat. And like you said, we braised them for about 12 hours. And then reduce the stock down and set it into basically a nice pate, if you're not familiar with hog head cheese. And then we also serve it with some Creole mustard, little pickled green tomato chow chow, and some crispy chicken skins.
I want to thank you, Sean Root.
Oh, thank you.
Co-executive chef here at Table Kitchen and Bar. And if you'd allow me, sir, I would really love to taste this Thai
Please dig in.
dish. So you got the rice going. You got the chicken going. Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Please come out and check out Table Kitchen and Bar, located right here in Baton Rouge. If you guys want more information about Louisiana rice, always log on to our website at twilightTV.org. On behalf of Chef Sean, AJ Sabine, This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I want to wish you guys all happy holidays. We'll see you next time.
Feasting on Agriculture with A.J. Sabine was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board. Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat. By the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, Rice, a world of great ideas. And by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner.
It's been a tough year for making a profit on the farm. There are very few commodities that aren't lower in price this year over last. Joining us now for this week's Bottom Line is Neil Melancon. And Neil, is 2016 looking any better when it comes to price?
Well, it's, not much of a stretch to say it will be, just because prices were just so low this year. And it's just hard to get much worse. However, there is a lot of downside to the market right now. 2015 has seen another year of lower prices compared to last year, but especially compared to the highs we had in 2012 through 2013. Things go up and down, of course, but that downside has a lot of weight to it right now in the form of a larger than expected crop in the U.S. That has persisted through the December USDA crop report so far. The report was well within what was expected, but overall bigger than November's numbers. For corn, the carryout number was a continuation of what we've seen all season long. The crop was not only bigger than November's report, but above the average trade expectations. Still, like beans and wheat, it was within the range of trade thought, which topped out at 1.8 billion bushels. For soybeans, traders were expecting a bit of a drawdown given Chinese demand, but it was pegged exactly what it was from November. It's a balance between those good export numbers right now and more of those late season beans coming in than expected. Wheat was also the same from November, although that's lower than traders expected and right at the bottom of the range of expectations. That's potentially good news for wheat, which had a tough season at harvest and has had a rough planting weather so far for this winter wheat crop. The bottom line is, a lot of whether or not 2016 will be a better year is what happens with South America. They've had pretty good weather and things are shaping up to be bountiful there, although we've got a long way to go before that crop is done. In the same latest USDA report, we pretty much saw the same stable amount of carryout grain on the world supply, which is the real difference between now and a couple of years ago. Back then, we had a much smaller supply, so prices were higher. While we could get back to those levels, it would pretty much take a weather disaster in South America to put a dent in that supply, especially after this U.S. crop. And Kristen, one of the most interesting stories we've seen thus far in the last couple of weeks or so is Argentina's getting ready to revaluate their currency. And what that's going to mean is they're going to be able to jump cheaper export of soybeans especially. We saw a 25-cent dive in the markets when they announced that. So we'll see if that comes to pass.
Well, I hope that things get better next year because you're going to be out of a job. I will give you, this is the last bad news, bottom line.
Last bad
you can
news.
bring us 2016, better be all good news.
Okay, well, I tell you what, give me some of the stuff from your garden and in exchange and I'll have better news. How about that?
Okay, well, we'll try.
All right.
Neil Molasaw, thanks. Well, as we close out this year, we want to thank you, our viewers, for joining us here each week. 2015 has been a year full of challenges and changes for all of us here at Twyla. As we showed you earlier in the show, in March, we said goodbye to our host, Mike Dana. Mike was a master storyteller, a constant source of laughter, and an extraordinary leader for our team. He challenged and inspired each of us to do the very best. But more than all of that, Mike was a friend, and we miss him every day. 2015 was also a year of growth here at Twyla. Carrie Martin joined our team as the new Director of Information and Public Relations, along with our new reporter, Rebecca Buchanan. Avery Davidson welcomed the birth of another baby boy, and AJ Sabine was formally inducted into the Louisiana Bar Association, while I officially became a farmer's wife when I married Mr. Landon White in April. To all of our loyal viewers who stuck with us through the ups and downs of 2015, we say thank you. We hope we've informed you and entertained you, but more importantly, we hope you've gained a greater appreciation for the men and women who put food on our table. We also want to show our appreciation to the farmers and ranchers who welcomed us to their farm and allowed us to share their stories with you at home. From flooding followed by a season of drought and low commodity prices, 2015 was a year filled with obstacles for Louisiana agriculture. But like always, our farmers and ranchers persevered through the tough times with resiliency and a willingness to pick it up and do it all again next year. From the cattlemen in Caddo Parish to the cane farmers in Assumption and every Louisiana farmer in between, thank you for all of the hard work you do day in and day out. This will be our last news show for the year. We will continue to bring you an encore presentations of Twyla until January 23rd, when we will bring you stories from Orlando, Florida, site of the 97th Annual American Farm Bureau Convention. We leave you with a look back on the year of 2015. From all of us at Twyla, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.